I'm Mike Uyak. I love to try new things, and I've had culinary adventures all around the world, as well as right at home. I've had really wonderful food, as well as some really horrible food. I'd like to share some of my adventures with you, and we'll see if I have what it takes to fix whatever goes wrong. This is Recipe Redemption. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's edition of Recipe Redemption. Today in the Market of Mystery, I'm going to be trying something that I've been looking forward to for a while and just haven't actually sprung the money for. And it's coffee fruit tea. I'm super curious about this. Now, if you don't know, coffee comes from a small shrub, grows these clusters of red berries once they're ripe. They're bright red berries. And the berries are picked, they're sun-dried, and what ends up happening is the fruit, the actual meat of the fruit kind of splits. They're able to get the seed in the middle out, and it's the seed, that what we call the bean, that is roasted, ground, and brewed into the coffee that we all know and love, and some of us need. But the fruit itself, the meat of the fruit, was typically discarded. But as it turns out, it's perfectly edible and makes a decent tea. So I've heard. And it's a sustainable thing. You're making use of a byproduct, something that was actually thrown away before, but is perfectly usable if you like it. So let's find out if we like it. It can be made hot or cold. Doesn't matter, just changes the amount of time that it has to steep. Now, I've done it hot, right here. And it's a lovely sort of crimson tea color. And the fruit does puff up quite a bit. It's been steeping for about 10 minutes. That's what they recommend. A couple tablespoons worth of the fruit and 8 ounces of hot water. If you put it into cold water, you kind of need to leave it overnight. And the aroma is actually not as strong as when I just opened the bag and smelled the dried fruit. Now it's got there's sort of a dried cherry. If you ever had dried cherries, it has that sort of thing. Obviously, any dried fruit has that sort of raisiny element to it, but this has got something else. And it's like dried cherry, but there's something else. It's almost, I hesitate to say jerky-like, but there's almost a sort of, if there's an umami aroma, that's kind of where it goes. There's a meatiness to it, even though there's no meat in it. And the tea itself, once it's brewed, it may just be me suggesting things to myself, but it still has a sort of a meatiness to it. It's more subtle now that it's diluted down with water. It's not unpleasant, it's indescribable. So let's give it a taste. Very light in flavor, very subtly fruity. It has sort of a tea flavor. It's like, well, here's the thing. It tastes like tea, but it doesn't feel like tea, if you know what I mean. The sort of astringency that you get from the tannins in tea is just not there because there's no actual tea in this. So you just get the fruitiness, and There is sort of an uh, there is sort of an unctuousness to it, and I don't know why. Um, there's no gel. I don't know if there's any like pectins or anything in coffee berries, but there is a certain mouthfeel beyond just drinking a cup of hot water. But I'm not quite sure what it is. Slightly floral. So if you've ever had rose hip tea, there is a little bit of a hint of that. It's not bad. Now I'm kind of curious. There we go. Got one of the berries. Mm, yeah, don't do that. Strain the berries out. Um, you could probably make a pot of this and then strain the berries out as you pour it into your cup. Um, ah, Wash the bits of the coffee berry out. Yeah, the berry itself is not good at all. Um, there's sort of a grittiness to it. Um, Not a whole lot of flavor. Certainly not sweet. Whatever sweetness may have been in there has gone into the tea, and so it's like chewing on leaves until the very end. There's a bit of a bitter aftertaste. Don't recommend that, but the tea itself is quite pleasant. I've seen reviews online that say that this is good for mixing in with other teas. Uh, I think if you want to add a fruitier element to your tea and kind of tame down on the tannins by using half of the tea and um, substituting it with this, that is something. It's certainly a much mellower drink than your typical cup of orange pico. Uh, it does have. They do say that steeping this, there is some caffeine in this. It is coffee after all, but the majority of the caffeine rather is concentrated in the bean itself rather than in the fruit. But there is some. So a cup of this has about half the caffeine of a regular cup an equivalent cup of coffee. So that is something. If you want something that's more tea-like, has a bit more of a caffeine kick than tea, without all the tannins, this is a pretty decent choice. Yeah, it's quite pleasant. Now this cost me how much? About $10, plus shipping, and based on the 120 grams of this supposed weight of this package, um, I'm guessing maybe 15, 16 of these 8-ounce cups that it'll make. So it's about twice as expensive as regular coffee for the amount of beverage, but it's not coffee. It's coffee fruit, and it is a tea, so it should be treated as its own thing. So it's up to you as to whether or not $10 for 15 or 16 cups worth of a beverage is worth it to you. That's not bad. When you come right down to it, that's 80 cents, 75, 80 cents. I'm not good at math, but per cup, that's not bad. That's probably comparable to a cup of tea, I think, especially if you just use like tea bags. Um, yeah, it's not bad at all. I would recommend it. So, uh, if you feel like it, go out and give it a try. I'd say this is, I for me, most of these reviews are uh, things that you either can try or I recommend you don't try. There's nothing that I've done that I can say that you have to go out and get right now, because personal tastes are personal. they're yours. But if you are at all curious, I see nothing wrong with this. It's actually quite nice. I'm going to finish this. Like on Binging with Babish. Well, the Empty Glass Club instead of the Clean Plate Club. But I am going to finish this. That's really quite pleasant. So, that's my review for today. I'd like to thank you for watching. And if you have any other suggestions for products I should try, please leave a message down below in the comments. Send me a message, whatever. And as always, don't forget to like the video and hit subscribe if you want to see more videos in the future. This is getting me to drool a little bit. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.